back with the Rocket Right Show. I'm Dr. K. Solar in the house with Hurricane Betsy Barnes. And there's a new store in town that you need to go to, and it's called Cards and Culture. We have with us Anthony Ranaudo, David Losavio, and Jacob Zumo, who's a pro at being our guest, right? Right. You told him it was a piece of cake and not to be nervous.
Absolutely.
Right?
He spoke very highly of you guys, yes.
Well, thank you. So Anthony, you're up. You're going to be, you've heard that before, right? You're up.
Once or twice. Well, I'm usually the pitcher, so I was usually throwing and I was telling guys to come up to bat. So, yeah, a little different. But I did hit a few times in baseball, so that's good.
Yeah. So let's talk about, before we get into the store and how the concept came to happen, let's talk about your background for anybody who might not be familiar. Your baseball career. Start from when you was a baby.
Oh, a baby. All right.
Yeah.
Baseball started for me super early. I was 5 years old, did the T-ball thing, played all the way up, played high school. I grew up in New Jersey, actually, so I'm not even from here in Louisiana. I came down here and took a scholarship at LSU. I played 3 years down here. I played in 2008, 2009, 2010. We won a national championship in 2009 for LSU, so that was cool.
Yeah.
And then I got drafted by the Boston Red Sox, and I played professionally with the Red Sox, the Rangers, and the White Sox. And then even I played a year overseas in Korea as well.
Wow.
That is so awesome.
So I bounced around a little bit, yeah.
And you came back.
I did, yes. I love Louisiana.
You could have stayed,
yeah.
but you came back.
No, I love Louisiana, and even when I was playing professional baseball, the off seasons were spent in Louisiana. I bought a house down here. I've made roots, and now obviously have a couple businesses here. So yeah, this is home now.
That's awesome.
So
don't tell my mom though; she's not super happy with that stuff. Yeah.
She can move down too.
I've tried to get her down here a couple times. She lived for a year down here, but then she went back.
Did she say it was too hot?
Yes, my mom complained a lot about a lot of things.
It wasn't the food.
Definitely not the food, no.
She probably said it's a little too hot down
Exactly. It was a bunch of other things too. I wasn't seeing her enough, all that stuff. So
Well, you're kind of busy.
Yeah, I had a life,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, she wanted to hang out a lot.
Well, let's talk about that. Moms like to do that.
We know.
So let's talk about the businesses and let's jump in. And you mentioned you have other businesses, but let's talk about Cards and Culture. Y'all recently opened at Perkins Rowe. When was that?
Yes, July 1st we opened the doors. July 10th we had grand opening. These guys helped me out. Obviously we're going to talk about that, but yeah, we did July 10th grand opening. It was super awesome, and we're over in Perkins Rowe. Sports cards, memorabilia, collectibles, art, sneakers, and we're even going to do some multimedia like streaming services too. So it'll be cool.
So how did you have the idea to do something like that?
I think the idea originated, I've had a podcast for 3 or 4 years, and I think I always kind of saw this vision. And then when COVID hit, I was selling basketball cards just for fun when my gym shut down, and I was making a lot of money. And then I realized, this isn't going to last like that forever. The market's not always going to stay like that. So how do we create a brand in that industry? So then, I had known David for a bunch of years. He had some art in my house, and I asked him to do a few commission pieces of some famous cards, and they sold like that. And I was like, boom, boom, boom. They had an idea to like incorporate sneakers, art, like more of a lifestyle brand within the collectibles space that was already blowing up. So, and then with the NIL and LSU partnerships and things like that, I was like, I wanted to have a space that was prepared for when athletes were allowed to get paid and do appearances and kind of make money off their likeness and image. So I think we're set up for that space, and it's going to be super fun with all the experiences and different things that we're going to be doing in the space.
That is awesome.
Well, you're giving people a great opportunity to create their own brand within your brand, and then that'll elevate them long term.
That's kind of what we're going for, and there's going to be this NIL stuff is so exciting, and there's going to be a lot of money grabs. So I'm trying to teach
and talk
athletes.
A little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely.
So what NIL stands for?
Yes, it's the National Image and Likeness kind of new initiative that the NCAA approves, so athletes can get paid off their likeness and image, not necessarily what the university is doing, but their own likeness and image. So I essentially kind of want to give them a blueprint and say, hey, look, I was an athlete, I played professionally, I kind of know how this goes, and almost teach them, hey, this isn't about quick money while you're in college, this is about creating an everlasting brand, and use myself even as a case study and say, look, here's a kid from New Jersey who was promised all this stuff down in Louisiana and even in pro ball and all these different things, and it didn't work out for me, but now I'm able to have successful businesses and do different things and connect with a community that helped build me up. And that's kind of what I'm trying to teach these kids, is this stuff is not going to always last, no matter how good you are, right? The moment's always going to be kind of moving and impermanent. So try to teach them some things that'll be everlasting, like you said.
Yes.
Well, I came out to the grand opening, which was awesome. So the space is great at Perkins Rowe. And, of course, the art really draws you in. So you said that you knew David. So, David, let's talk a little bit about the piece pieces, and you and Jacob are related. We're going to spend a lot more time on that later in the show when we talk about your art. But y'all did some collabs that were on the walls there and that were available for sale at the shop. Was that one of the first times y'all had collaborated on some projects?
Yeah, one of two. I don't know if y'all can see the Mac Miller one here, but that's the first one me and Jacob ever collabed on together.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
and I think they can
incredible,
see part of it,
Right.
and we're gonna show. I think we might have it
Isn't that amazing?
on screen as well as one of the ones that I think y'all revealed the day of the grand opening. If you want to show our own line piece, I think that's the one that
Kobe
y'all.
and Shaq one was
Talk
a
about that.
special one too. You can kind of see how we divided our styles up, and it's real hard edges and transition of style between me and Jacob. And he does like the realism, and I do the colorful stuff. So
Yeah,
it's pretty cool to look at.
yeah, absolutely. And so,
Gosh, there's a lot of talent in your family.
oh yeah, the list goes on. And so, like when Anthony commissioned us to do this, we kind of at first we were thinking about doing an LSU themed painting, and so me and David kind of like spun in on me and his relationship from mentor to mentoree to family, and so we called it was friends and family, and so kind of Shaq and Kobe's relationship parallel to me and David's relationship, and so we kind of played on that, and excited to keep doing the process, and thankful for Anthony to put in this steam front of,
Absolutely.
Of the shop. So.
It was great, and I can imagine that somebody wanting a small collector's card, which they pay crazy money for, but they probably love having a huge print of it up on their wall at their house because it is one of their prized possessions. I mean, are you seeing that as part of the store?
Absolutely, and I think the thing that made most sense for us as the Cards and Culture brand was not only am I incorporating the art, but it is the collectible space. So we called it the LA Connection of Friends and Family, the LA Connection of Friends and Family collection, right? And there was 1,000 pieces. So including the original piece, we then had different various size prints at different price points that were all numbered, and then we even did little sports cards of the print at numbers. That
Very cool.
Everything totals 1,000. So there's 1,000 pieces of the collectible from everything. So you can get a T-shirt, you can get a small print, you can get a sports card, or if you want to be a baller, you can go buy the big thing off the wall too.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you could do a signature piece or a gift or something like that, depending on what your price range is and what
Exactly.
the occasion is. But it's something you could build over time. So fathers, grandfathers, sons could build it if that's what they wanted to do, or friends, family.
That's it.
So what are some of your hot sale items? Because I remember back in the day, and I probably, when we moved, threw a whole box of those things away, which were in little sleeves because I didn't want to touch them and get them bent. Those Pokemon cards. Oh my gosh, I saw one went for like $900 on.
We still have a
on the
bunch of
site.
Pokemon cards at my house.
Well,
Maybe I
look,
need to
you
bring them
haven't thrown
over.
yours away.
$900 is scraping the surface for some of them. Like they're some of them are going for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like
That
the
is
graded
crazy.
ones. Yeah, so it is. Yeah, it's a weird world out there, but how like things go like that are cyclical, right? Everything vintage
Right.
comes back around, and so I think what we're seeing is kind of like a nostalgic era and a an age group that is starting to come into money that wants to share it with their kids, and how do we kind of make the industry more modern and do different things, and that's what we're having, is we're just seeing an influx of people come in, but it also hits all the feels, right? You got all the nostalgia, all the things that remind you of your childhood, and now
Right.
parents are able to share it with their kids. So it's like you're talking about the fathers, the sons, the generations, but kind of stays within the hobby.
Well, with the internet, website, all that, the price just goes up because you have more potential buyers. And so
exactly
anything
it.
that you have in your collection now becomes available to the world. So
Correct.
it's not just available in the store.
Right. When I was selling
which is
my
exciting.
Exactly. When I was selling Pokemon cards when I was 10 years old, it was the kids in my area, right? But now I can sell them to kids in China and connect with people across the world on fans that that they're fans of.
I was wondering about the store because you do have the physical location at Perkins Rowe, but do you have a lot of buyers that are from around the world online because they're collectors and they're looking for those things?
Absolutely, and that's how we started. We really didn't decide to go brick and mortar until I was like, I really want to bet big on this and hope that the the NIL thing comes to fruition.
Right.
But really, everything was online before that, and it was really just telling a story with the asset, whether it was a piece of art, whether it was a famous sneaker that only had 100 drops, or if it was a sports card. We were kind of getting into it with the storytelling.
Yeah, that's
Sneakers are big business.
Yeah. Oh, it's huge. That's
My
one of the
son looks
biggest.
at all that. I
That's-
mean,
it's-
designs and all that.
Exactly, and they do a good job of creating the exclusivity and the supply and the demand, right? So they make it a way that it's almost impossible to get these shoes, and then they market that there's only 1,000 of them, and then they recreate them 5 years later. So it creates kind of a fun secondary market too that creates the demand when the initial drop comes
Yeah, the
too.
70s and 80s Nikes,
Oh,
all
yeah.
the old shoes that, I don't know if somebody just put them in a closet or what.
I know. Well,
Right.
we're running out of time, and so I know I'm going to take a picture of you, and it's going to be on our Facebook page because you need to see the shirt. Ball is life. You've got a whole collection of
Yeah, it's kind
T-shirts
yeah,
and
T-shirts,
outfits.
collectibles, hats, everything, and
Yeah.
we're gonna create our own little IP. And this was one of our designers' ideas, and it was really cool about the pandemic. So we'll have our own.
I
clothing.
love it. So y'all stay with us. We're going to be talking with Kevin Gallagher up next. The artists are going to be joining us at the end of the show for more. So check out Cards and Culture. And thank y'all for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for
Thank
having
you.
us. Yeah.